This is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the Colleen Ballinger apology video, which was released in June of 2023? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I'll put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to a timeline of the controversies, a summary of the apology video, then offer my analysis. Colleen Ballinger was born in Santa Barbara, California on November 21, 1986. Her father was a sales manager and her mother was a homemaker. She has 3 siblings. Colleen's career started in 2007. She has been extremely active, mostly in the areas of singing, acting, and comedy. She has performed in theater productions, given private piano and voice lessons, and made many appearances in productions like web series, TV shows, music videos, and commercials. In 2008, the same year she graduated from college, Colleen started posting videos on YouTube using a character she created named Miranda Sings. The next year, she started a one-woman comedy act using this same character. Colleen has 3 large YouTube channels, all of which are extremely successful. Here are some of the statistics for her channels at the time of making this video. Her first channel shares her name, Colleen Ballinger. It has almost 9 million subscribers and has been viewed almost 2 billion times. It receives about 1 million views per month. Her second channel is named after the character she created, Miranda Sings. It has over 10 million subscribers and has been viewed over 2.3 billion times. It receives about 1.5 million views per month. Her third channel is called Colleen Vlogs. It has over 3.3 million subscribers and has been viewed almost 1 billion times. It receives about 2 million views per month. It's worth noting that Colleen's channels used to receive many more views than they do now, sometimes tens of millions per month. Colleen's character, Miranda Sings, represents a significant achievement as far as her success. This character is supposed to be a self-centered, arrogant, socially awkward, erratic, and irritating young woman who is obsessed with fame. She wears out-of-style clothing that doesn't match and bright red lipstick that is not applied correctly. Colleen said that the idea for the Miranda character was inspired in part by women she knew in college. She found them to be rude and untalented. In many of the appearances on the internet and television that Colleen has made, she has been in character as Miranda. For example, Miranda appeared on Jerry Seinfeld's Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, The Tonight Show, and in a Netflix series. Now moving to the timeline of the controversies. In 2016, Colleen was on a live stream with a male friend of hers. They were handling lingerie as part of this video. The clothing had never been worn by anyone. It was new. Colleen's friend put a bra and underwear on over his clothing to demonstrate how ugly the items were. One of Colleen's fans, a 13-year-old boy named Adam, requested the lingerie, and Colleen eventually mailed the bra and underwear to him. It's clear that Colleen knew that Adam was not an adult because she joked about how his parents might be mad. In addition to mailing lingerie, Colleen crossed other boundaries with Adam. For example, she shared personal information with him over the course of 3 years. At one point, she even let him post on her Twitter account. After this incident, people found other mistakes that Colleen had made. For example, she was featured in a comedy skit that was insulting toward Hispanics. Colleen once talked insensitively about a dog that bit her when she was 3 years old. The dog was put down by a veterinarian. And when discussing an incident on an airplane, Colleen was insulting toward a person who struggled with obesity. Colleen released a 13-minute apology video in 2020 titled Addressing Everything. In the video, she accepted responsibility for her behavior, displayed remorse, and talked about how much she learned from the experience. I don't think apology videos are ever a good idea, but if someone is going to insist on releasing them, the one that Colleen released in 2020 wasn't too bad. After this apology video, more people came forward with allegations. For example, fans claimed that Colleen engaged in toxic relationships with them in private chat groups. She allegedly asked various people questions like what their favorite position was and were they a virgin. Colleen was involved in some type of yoga challenge event in 2019. She called a young fan onto the stage and put her in an unflattering position as a flatulence sound was played over a speaker. A man who worked as Colleen's assistant claimed that she screamed at him, verbally belittled him, and exploited him for free labor. In response to these allegations, Colleen released a 10-minute apology video in June of 2023, which was simply titled, "Hi." In the video, Colleen played a ukulele and sang. I cannot recall ever seeing a musical apology video before, so I will have to give Colleen points for creativity. Here is a summary of her apology video. Some of this is paraphrased. Colleen sang a refrain which read, quote, "All aboard the toxic gossip train, chugging down the tracks of misinformation. The toxic gossip train, you got a one-way ticket to manipulation station. Toxic gossip train, tie me to the tracks and harass for my past. Rumors look like facts if you don't mind the gaps that won't survive in the crash, but hey, at least you're having fun." Unquote. Colleen's refrain is actually kind of catchy. She stated that she wanted to talk to people about a few things. Her team advised her not to say what she wanted to say, but she realized that they never said she couldn't sing. Colleen said, quote, "Many years ago, I used to message my fans, but not in a creepy way, like a lot of you are trying to suggest. It was more like a loser kind of way, but I was just trying to be besties with everybody." Unquote. She suggested that she was like a weird aunt at a family gathering. She went on to talk about how she had been sharing her life online for over 15 years. She felt like she was talking to her friends, but early in her career, she did not appreciate the value of boundaries. There were times where she overshared details about her life. She took accountability and changed this behavior. At this point, Colleen again sang about the toxic gossip train. She suggested those targeting her were lying, but at least they were having fun. Colleen believes that everyone should learn from their mistakes, which is what she has tried to do. She suggested that her critics do not care. Taking accountability is not really what they want. They want to ruin her life. Colleen predicted the types of comments which would be posted on her video. People would say that she was a gaslighting and manipulating narcissist. They would never make the mistakes that she has made. Colleen invited all those who were perfect to criticize her. She predicted that people would be disgusted by her song, but she was not going to admit to lies and rumors. As if she was speaking from her critics' point of view, Colleen sang, quote, "Hey everybody, I found someone new to harass. She did some things that I do not like in her past, so everybody gather round because we're about to attack, but not based on facts." Unquote. Colleen talked about how she has made mistakes, but she pushed back against the criticism by pointing out that it was not fun to have millions of people calling her disgusting, vile, and horrendous names. Colleen said, quote, "The only thing I ever groomed is my 2 Persian cats. I'm not a groomer, just a loser, who didn't understand I shouldn't respond to fans." Unquote. She suggested that many people thought she was a predator because she made a joke about flatulence. She never had bad intentions. Colleen repeated the toxic gossip train refrain before talking about how people make mistakes. She said, quote, "Sometimes people make mistakes simply because they made a mistake, and that mistake doesn't make them a terrible human. It just makes them human." Unquote. After pausing for a moment, Colleen concluded the video by saying, quote, "But what do I know? Blank me, right?" Unquote. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. As is the case with any high-profile apology video, there were a variety of reactions to Colleen's musical adventure. It would appear as though many people are not happy with the content of her apology, believing Colleen to be insincere. The video has a decidedly confrontational and negative tone and contains harsh criticisms of Colleen's detractors. I don't think that the video that Colleen released was actually an apology video at all. It was an admonishment, a scathing indictment of cancel culture. Colleen was trying to communicate that there is nothing she can do to satisfy her detractors. She accepted responsibility for her behavior, but that is not enough for some people. I think that Colleen's video does reveal a truth about the world of social media celebrities. It underscores how people rarely change their minds once one of these scandals gets rolling. If an attitude change does occur, it's often not due to anything the celebrity said or sang, as the case may be. Instead of just doing nothing in response to criticism, Colleen is striking back. She is standing up for herself in a ukulele-fueled rebuke. One could argue that she is offering a Miranda warning. She is using all the criticism directed at her against the people who made it. Item number 2. The gravamen of the complaint against Colleen is really about boundaries, which is something she acknowledged in her apology musical. Colleen did not understand how to be a celebrity. She didn't know how to manage relationships with fans. I think she did violate boundaries, and that behavior is not acceptable. But at the same time, I am underwhelmed by the small number of complaints, given the sheer quantity of videos that Colleen has produced. On YouTube alone, she has published over 3,500 videos. This doesn't count for any other social media, TV, Netflix, or other places. Ostensibly, Colleen has also communicated with fans frequently, probably thousands of interactions, yet there are only a few complaints. Colleen became popular for playing a character who was spontaneous, energetic, immature, charismatic, emotionally reactive, and boundary violating. It makes sense that a person who could play this type of character might be a little bit impulsive themselves. The very characteristics that made Colleen famous are now being used against her. This isn't fair to Colleen. In a way, it's like people being mad at a boxer for being aggressive when they are not in the ring. People cannot separate themselves from their personality characteristics. Item number 3. For some of those who disliked the apology video, it wasn't just about the content, it was the fact that Colleen apologized in the form of a musical. People have argued that this does not show a respect for the topic. I disagree. I've always been a big fan of the arts in general. I like almost all types of art. I'm particularly fond of movie musicals, and I think there's nothing wrong with telling a story with music. I've watched many musicals several times, like The Greatest Showman, Grease, Fiddler on the Roof, and Mamma Mia. The final scene of La La Land was nothing short of pure genius, except for that trumpet solo. I'm not sure what they were thinking there. Either way, music is a valid way to tell a story. I find it curious that Colleen is well known for her musical talent, yet people criticize her for using it to make an apology. I think the music actually softens the blow that Colleen is delivering. Again, her video is not really about apologizing. It's about standing up for herself. Colleen is saying something like, I am a human being too, and I'm allowed to make mistakes like any person would. It's a fair statement, accompanied by music or not. Now moving to my final thoughts. I think it's reasonable to believe that Colleen was hurt by the criticism she received. If nothing else, this indicates that she heard the complaints and was open to the idea that they could be valid. At some point, however, Colleen was done listening. She reached her limit as far as feedback. She apologized and was ready to move on. What should the cost be when a social media influencer makes a mistake? What is the point of even acknowledging a mistake if redemption is not a possibility? What more can Colleen do to receive absolution? Colleen wants to convince people that she is a weird loser, not an intentional boundary violator. She makes a convincing argument, which I suppose is both a good and a bad thing at the same time. I guess one could say that rather than face the music, Colleen decided to strike a chord. It didn't hit the right note with everyone, but it was definitely not the same old song and dance. The world will not be in harmony over the routine but I think Colleen had the right to belt it out. I just hope for her sake this apology video is not her swan song. Those are my thoughts in the case of Colleen Ballinger's apology video. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comments section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching. As one could imagine, this particular video topic offered a lot of opportunities for puns in the thumbnails. I can only select one, so I went with Miranda nauseates, a play on Miranda sings. But I had 3 other good ones, 2 of which I alluded to in the video. Miranda warning, I think that one's pretty good. Swan song, also kind of catchy. But my second favorite, after Miranda nauseates, is Singing to Cause Pain, a play on the musical Singing in the Rain. Sometimes I struggle to find even one pun for a thumbnail. Often I don't even have that. So it was nice for a change to cover a topic that offered a pun-rich environment.